Hello and welcome or welcome back. Today we're just going to be playing some more Killing Floor 1 and just talking about stuff. So yeah, I'll stop rambling and we'll get right into it. Yeah, it didn't change my perk. Damn it. Oh well, maybe I'll change it after this round. I was going to pick Firebug because I was Machine Gunner last time, but I do really enjoy Machine Gunner. Anyway, thank y'all for chilling, by the way, as always. So I had kind of an odd weekend. You just dropped money? Oh no, wait, that's right. I forgot. We can like load up on shit. Hold on. Yeah, see, something just spawned here. No. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have a chance to really watch watch anything. But I did watch some stuff last week that we can talk about. I was going to talk about it last Monday's video, but then Killing Floor 3 had some news, so I made a video on that, which did pretty well. Thank you very much for that, by the way. Anything over like 100, 150 views, like, I'm happy. So. Alright, there's one more guy chilling. He's right there, okay. We blow all them up and see what we get. We got a gun and a dollar. Yeah. Oh, I love this map. God, Zelda was peak back in the day. I don't know if you guys ever played it. Like way back on the original NES. God, the gold cartridge. I can't remember the name of it now, but damn, dude. Now I'm starting to like memories are coming back. I played this map a couple of times before. And every time I do, stuff just comes back. Comes flooding back. But anyway, yeah, we'll talk about, I watched 2 short movies. Did you guys ever see the Dead Space movies? Ooh. Yeah, they're not, like, the greatest. To say the very least. I already knew that going in. I remember watching them years ago when they first came out. Like, oh man, I remember like scrolling through on demand on my cable like years ago and seeing, oh look at that, Dead Space has some animated movies, because I watched a couple of Resident Evil ones that weren't awful, and I was just like, oh shit, Dead Space. Yeah, one thing that I didn't know about those movies, I didn't really think about looking it up, the hell, oh, was the fact that they are canon. I didn't know that. I had to look it up. I'm like, are these canon? I mean, they're not like, story-wise, I don't think that they're the worst. I think that execution, I don't know, the first one I would say probably like a 6 out of 10, you know, not the absolute worst. That's a prequel to the first game. And it kind of just explains why, the ship's the way it is, why the things are the way they are, you know, when you first get there. And I think that when it ends is like literally like the very beginning of the game. I think like the ship is like in range to dock or some shit like that. I don't know. But that one wasn't like awful. I think that it took some like, if I remember right, it like took a couple of liberties, like with how fast things happen, I guess. But other than that, like, I don't think it was really terrible. Uh-oh. I pissed him off. Yep. Yeah, like I said, though, I barely remember them, so I'm not gonna, like, go through them verbatim. But, yeah, that first one's just kind of, yeah, it just sets up the first game. And then the second one, I think, is right after the first movie, but I can't remember. It almost felt like the second movie, but I don't know. It's like, that one's kind of interesting. Like the base animation is just like some really terrible CG from like what 2009 or some shit. So it was really bad. But then like there's like they go through a couple of people's stories, right? Like a couple of crew members' stories, because like they made contact or they were in the vicinity of a marker, you know. So they wanted to like interview the people and see if they couldn't get like I think it was like if you're exposed to it and they can like do experiments or whatever. I don't know. You know, like, you know, if you know Dead Space, then you know that. I've played those games. I love those games. The first two are just too good. I just haven't played them in fucking forever. But anyway, look at that. Didn't get any of them. Come on. Oh, okay. And now I got to do better. Alright, cool. Yeah, so my knowledge with it is like not so fresh, so I'm not even gonna bother being like, well, I think they're this or that, if I remember right. Nah, it's just, yeah. Yeah, that first movie, from what I remember, there's not much I can say. The animation was alright, like the horror, like the gore and all that was pretty good. Like it felt like Dead Space for the most part. I'm not saying it was perfect, but you know, it is what it is. It's better than the second one. Like the second one, given the bad, like I said, the bad like animation for like the base animation. What I mean by that is like every story that they go through, that character has a different art style, which I found to be pretty cool. The only thing is sometimes the characters do not look similar at all because that CG, that base animation, is awful. So. Yeah. But all in all, I don't think that one was bad. Like, they were just going through who had contact with the marker, who didn't, and pretty much whoever didn't have contact with the marker was executed right after the interrogation or whatever. And at the very end, there was this chick that was like, she made contact with the marker, I believe, and they wanted to you know, they offered her, hey, you know, help us out, yada, yada, whatever shit. You can put it together. And she pretty much refused. And then what they did is they, like, made her the scapegoat for one of those incidents from one of the Dead Space games. I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one. But, like, you know how, like, everybody's dead except for Isaac Clarke? Well, they made it to where she was, like, a mass shooter, pretty much, you know? Like, she took everybody out. Easy way to explain it away, right? Ooh. God, that was brutal. Look at it. I hit the sprint key, even though you can't sprint in Killing Floor. That guy's fast. Anyway, yeah, no, if I were gonna, like, rate those movies, this is so difficult because of how big this fucking thing is. Like the first movie, I guess, like I said, probably about a 6 out of 10, maybe. You know, that's being a little generous, but I don't know. I don't think it was the absolute worst. Like a couple of the characters were kind of shit, but whatever. The animation was pretty good. The story was a bit better than the second one. The second one was alright when it came down to the story, but the execution was shit. I would give it like a 5, and that's being, again, generous because I like the different art style thing. I like seeing different artists. What was really funny though is I like turned it on and I'm like, is this what this movie's gonna fucking look like? It looks like fucking ass. You know, the base CG animation, awful, fucking terrible. Probably like some of the worst I've ever seen. And yeah, I'm gonna chalk it up because to it being like pretty old for the kind of animation they're using. But then again, I don't know. Things like Toy Story were around, like in the mid-90s. I don't know. Flesh Clown. Right? I was editing the last video. I was like, I didn't see it pop up in the kill feed. And I'm like, I gotta see what the name is. He doesn't really look like look too much like a clown. I don't know. I gotta look at that again. God. Some might say I need to quit smoking weed, but I think that's I don't know. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I had kind of an odd weekend. I barely remember those movies. Ooh. I don't know. I just remember searching them. I got a smart TV and I just searched Dead Space and because I was like, yeah, I'll watch those. They're probably like an hour-ish each, which they are. They're about an hour and 20. Watched them for free on whatever app. So if you feel like watching them, they're there and you don't got to pay a damn dime for it. Unless you sail the seven seas, which, you know, respect. I used to, but a lot of these sites just keep going under, so I don't know. What the fuck? Oh my god. I need a second. I did not hear that. I don't know. I have the game effects like down, you know, and the music up a little bit, so I don't know. I could barely hear some of those things. And her whole like washed out microphone, you know, it only happens when she's right up to you, at least in that situation. I was talking and shooting. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, yeah. I watched, like always, I watched the races yesterday. It was pretty interesting. Indy on an oval. Indy's small oval races are interesting, to say the least. Ooh, but that was alright. That was last night. Night races are cool. I like night races. I've been watching some, like, what would you call that? It was like the GT stuff. You know, they'd, like, 24 hours at Daytona and 24 hours of Le Mans just happened. Or Le Mans just happened. Ooh, which is interesting. I don't know how many of you are into it, but I won't talk about it for very long. Ooh, there's only been 2 winners this year in Indy, which is hilarious. The guys for the team that I follow, he finished top 10, so not bad. You know, well, that's what you can expect. You can't really expect much more from like a literal, like, I don't know, the team's probably the smallest team. Doesn't have like any funding as far as I know. I don't fucking know. I don't do the finances and I don't look into it that much. I just know that he's a small owner. Very small. And then F1 was F1. I don't know. NASCAR was NASCAR. F1's alright. I don't know. That could be a little boring, but I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I really don't know what to say about it. Where are the last 3? See, it doesn't give the markers every time, but then it gave me the. That's why I didn't think to look behind me for that female flesh pot in the last round, because it doesn't normally. Why did it give me the markers like this when there were like 10 fucking Zeds left? So I'm like, I thought, okay, they're all in front of me, is what I thought. Rocket. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. And then I also got into a new game as well. Something I just obviously play by my lonesome. It's Planet Crafter. That shit is so satisfying. You know, you grind, you build, you terraform a planet. That shit's fun. I remember I played a bunch of Satisfactory. Surprisingly enough, that shit ran on my computer until I turned the entire planet into a factory, and then it could no longer sustain it. And I was like, well, that was worth it. It took a while, so I mean, I got my time out of it. But yeah, no, I like those. They like scratch that itch. They scratch that itch. Some people call it that autismo itch, you know, where it's like, you know, you have control and, oh my god. And you actually make real progress. Like the thing with Planet Crafter is like at first you don't really feel like you're doing much. But like if you just follow like what it tells you to do, you're good. You know, and like you build your way up and it's pretty cool. You're like on this desolate planet. And then all of a sudden like you're building things for like heat and oxygen and, you know, all sorts of shit. And, you know, biomass, plants, animals. You know, eventually you work your way up to insects and animals and shit, like mammals and amphibians and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But like at first you're like, it's like, it's not really like doing much. And all of a sudden the sky turns blue and then all of a sudden it starts raining and then you start seeing puddles form everywhere. And then things start turning green and then you see trees pop up and then all of a sudden you got lakes and oceans and, you know, it's pretty cool how it works. Like I know that it's like a set map. So like it's already predetermined. As long as you like follow directions, essentially, you're gonna terraform. You're gonna win. Yeah, and then as for like my odd weekend, I don't know. I'm just not used to. I'm not really used to good things happening. You know, I'm not trying to be negative, but like, I don't know. That's just life, right? It's just kind of been like for a while now. It's been a lot of one disappointment after another. But I had a family member hit me up the other day asking me what kind, like if I like, pretty much offering to help me get a new computer, which would be fucking badass. I'm not making any promises. I'm not sitting here telling you guys that I'm going to be getting it and it's going to be soon or anything like that. But hopefully, if things go right, if I get lucky, if life kind of proves me wrong, like maybe. Maybe I'll get a good upgrade to this, and I'll be able to upgrade, like the quality. Things will look a bit better. I'll veer away, get out of 720, because I know that 720 kind of sucks. I know that it's pretty much like the top of the bottom, and I understand that. But hopefully I could at least bump it up to 1080. 1440 would be fucking tits, but I don't think that'll be the case. But like that'd be cool, and then maybe I'll be, because I got decent enough internet, and like especially I got 1 billion people in my house, so especially if like at night when nobody's using it, maybe I'll be able to like stream or something like a couple of times a week. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe I'll be able to try that. I don't know. We'll just have to see though. This is all like no promises, hypothetical, all hopes and dreams, but I should know somewhat soon, like, but they know people apparently, like computer people, and they can have something built with like a complete set, like relatively affordable, because we're not trying to spend like $1 billion. That's the whole thing, But hopefully things will go good, things will go our way here, and yeah, we'll be able to crank it up, do newer games. Like, man, that'd be cool, right? KF3. I mean, if I can get that game, I might have a way of playing it on this and recording it, but I'm not going to make any promises. So if I can get Killing Floor 3, I can probably make videos on it, regardless. Yeah, if you've been around for a while, you'll know that, like, my gaming budget is, like, almost non-existent. So, like, I don't know, even pushing, like, I know Killing Floor is only going to be, like, $40. That's still, like, I don't know, still money that I could put towards more useful things in my life. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the way I kind of have to justify it for now. But we'll see. Anything can happen. Look at that. Santa's hard. Okay, he's over. Where? Is he over by me? Yes, he is. Come on. Oh! I'm terrible with these rockets. Where did he go? He's right here. I knew it. Yeah, motherfucker. I was like just trying to zone in on his ass. Yeah, got your ass. It's so fun killing him with his own gun. Well, if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you. I don't know. Did you see the Dead Space movies? What did you think about them? I don't know. Like I said, the first one's like a 6, and that's just me being generous. And the second one's like a 5, and that's me being generous. But I don't know. Like, I don't think they were the worst piles of crap when it comes down to like video game movies in any way. But I don't know. I'll probably watch those Resident Evil ones too and talk about them. I know that there's 1 or 2 of them that are pretty good, but I know that there's a bunch that are just shit. But I'll watch them anyway. But anyway, I'll stop ranting and rambling and let you get on with your day or night. If you would just please consider doing all the things that YouTube likes and that I appreciate very, very much. Thank you so much for hanging out. It really does mean the world to me. You have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one.